We are visiting the very, very beautiful and interesting gallery that belongs to Peruvian and American sculptor Nicario Jimenez and Flora Zarate, who is his partner in art and in life, and who has done the very beautiful fiber art that we're going to see here in the gallery. Then we're going to proceed to their workshop, and you're going to actually see the two artists working, and you'll find that very, very interesting. But just quickly, Flora and Nicario are from the mountains of Peru. They were indigenous people there, and the people lived the life of most indigenous people, very, very simple. And they learned their crafts when they were very young children, and they developed it into a wonderful, wonderful livelihood and business. So come with us for a wonderful journey to Peru, and we're going to have a marvelous hour looking at their work and getting to know them. I got to know them, I'm going to tell you this very briefly. I got to know Nicario many years ago, probably 20 some years ago, when he won Best of Show at the Milwaukee Museum, and I was absolutely blown away by his beautiful work, and I never thought that we'd end up in the same city, Nicario. It was a wonderful thing, and the three of us have had a wonderful friendship for many, many, many years. So we go back, and I hope that you will enjoy the journey that you're going to take today.
I want to thank Nicario for welcoming us into his home, his gallery, and later his studio. And we start with a little bit of history, and family history especially. Nicario has explained this to us, and I want him to share so much how he learned this craft and some of the important both religious and sort of spiritual dimensions of this. So we start by looking at work that was done by his grandfather. Nicario learned at the hands of his grandfather things around. So tell us a little bit about the artwork here that we see.
First, thank you for visiting my studio. Thank you, Rona. I know Rona, my best friend for many years. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Annie, for visiting. I'm originally from a small village. It's called Alcamenca. If you see the map, you will not see it because it's tiny village. Me and Flora, we grew up in a small village. It's different to all. We learned Spanish. I learned I was 40 years old. Which is only, we spoke Quechua. Quechua is Inca language. Nice. This is nice gift. This is nice learning. The culture, the art, everything in my village is different from the big city. Mm-hmm. Completely different. I know in my life this is more it's big movement. When I moved from tiny town to the city, when I moved to the city to the big city, when I moved here, I was shocked. But in my village, I learned this technique, this kind of art. Before it's now called art. Now everybody tell me, you artist, you artisan. We lucky. I learned from people, for anthropologists, for historian art. I learned this kind of concept. Because why is these pieces is from my grandfather. I was lucky I have a few pieces. Yeah. This is called Cajon San Marcos. San Marcos box.
St. Mark's box.
Box.
Cajon San Marcos.
Cajon San Marcos is a cajon is the box because you see the box.
And these boxes were made from.
In my village is the high altitude, no trees, no wood. He using recycled wood. This piece is not using for decorations. This is more religious piece, magical religious piece. In my town, using two religions, the Andean religious, the Andean the deities, and Catholic is mixed with the Catholic,
Yes.
with the Catholic influence. This box is always for 16th or 17th centuries. It's a portable, they carrying to go into village. It's, in Quechua, it's called Misa Mastay. The offering the God. Okay. This now using retablo. In big city in Huamanga, the capital, Huamanga is the capital from Ayacucho. We have 34 churches. 34 churches, maybe more, okay? Using different sentences, it's called retablo.
Retablo.
It's a retablo, it's a Latin. Yeah, okay. It's mixed, the two. It's the top, it's the Catholic, and the road, it's the Andeans, from the Andes. This box is using for fertility animal. No using for decoration. Twice per year, August and February. Because we have 2 seasons in the Andes. Summer and winter.
2 growing seasons.
Harvesting and planting, man and woman, the sun and moon, day and night. That's it. Why is it? This is the concept. Its Catholic sense is for different animals. St. Mark's is for cows, St. Luke's is for llamas, St. Anthony for donkeys. Not that it. One box, maybe my grandfather changed for cow, or with donkey.
So they barter to get the box.
Yeah. This is the use this practice. 1968, my father moved to city, to Huamanga, from my village. Which is, the Huamanga is very tourist town for Holy Week. Tourists, okay. Also, the other retablo maker, the other person who is making business this time. My father is, why don't I make it for tourists?
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, he never make it this for tourists.
Right.
Only my father. My father changed. This is for my father. They're the second generations. It's the same idea.
It's the same thing, so that you have the Catholic influence here and the Andean culture there.
Uh-huh.
And the Catholic Church did this all over the world when they were moving around. They would use the local culture to teach the native population about their religion.
Exactly.
And so you see that, but you see where the Catholic is on top. Of course.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Also this space is not too big.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you see, yes.
So
This is yeah. This
Yeah.
also this is from my grandfather.
grandfather.
This box, before nobody signed it. It is just different type of when
They
you
signed it because they didn't think they were making art.
exactly. Okay, yes, yes. I learned it for helping to my grandfather, to my father. I was helping. Okay, I learned my Spanish in the city. I go to school. But it's always helping my family, my dad.
But when you went back to the village, you told us, and told them that you were making the tabloids for the tourist trade for Holy Week.
Yeah.
The response was, you don't do that, right? Your grandfather said.
No, my grandfather, no. Because it's more, it's magical religious bags.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not for tourists.
And you can see how your father
Yeah.
began to even embellish on what
Yeah,
your
exactly.
grandfather.
Yeah, if you own it, this, who have it from my grandfather kids? Always have it. But, okay, I ask you. I make a new one for you, you give me the old one. Yeah, it's only one. If you ask it, oh, this is too old, put the, or some, how much is helmet? No. The people is no. This is no. This is very old. Okay. Oh yeah, I make a new one for you.
And we'll see that Nicario takes this again to multiple levels in many different ways. So thank you.
So Nicario, you said that after learning your craft from your grandfather and then seeing your father bring retablos into the tourist trade, you said you took the art in a different direction. So tell us about the direction you took it.
Yeah,
into.
it's true. I take it for different level. Yeah, because this is the this is standard size. The original piece for my grandfather is our standard size, the same size, the same thing. But me, I take it different. This is the mask maker, the mask. Also, I like a mask because also is the contrast with the Catholic and Andean. It's because before Spanish coming to South America, the Incas, before Incas, the mask used for different ceremonies.
The mask could be used for different ceremonies. Okay.
Now the mask used for carnival.
For carnival.
For carnival. The carnival is the beginning, the harvest.
And we're going to see when we go to the studio, we're going to see some of the detail that is on these masks. Of course, those of us these days are complaining about masks, but masks play a really important role in the Andean culture, but also in the Catholic culture. Tell me about the layers here.
Yeah. Each boxes is from different village.
Different villages.
Different village use for using carnival. It's not same. It's different customs, different masks. Yep, everybody wearing with the black mask. No mask, but it's carnival. Yeah, each one is different.
Can we just show what the outside looks like?
Oh, yes, it's outside.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's the trip.
Great. A triptych.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to the work that...
Important themes over the years has been immigration, and the work that he's done is I think for me truly stunning and tells a story that reaches the emotions, that makes us feel. And he's used the different levels again in his work and in the tableaus on the side, but this, what we see here, and Nicario can do it better, but we see crossing the Rio Grande and climbing the fence and coming across on the boats, and then the normal way through the immigration channels. And what was that? What made you think about doing a piece like this, Nicario?
It is funny. Always, when you stay in Peru, I make it more fun about the Peru themes. Always in Peru, I make a more social commentary about my country. Mm-hmm. I make when I visited my first time to U.S. because my first time I visit Miami University for exhibit. I saw when I visited the different place here, I feeling about the immigrants. Mm. It's very controversial, very different. It's just if you it's different. Why is I decided making about the immigration? I make more many pieces about immigration. Mm-hmm. This is one examples. This when before it looked like everybody asking me which one you coming this. Okay. I make about the legal immigration when you're crossing the customs. Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of security. Okay. This is the ID. ID is just crossing. Mm-hmm. This is California and Mexico, the border. You crossing border. Yeah. The champ, we have a police, the border patrol. The people crossing the wall and the top or on the water. It's I make it.
And the stories here
exactly.
Too.
This is I painted the panel, the history, each immigrant. Yeah. Which is when everybody's coming to US because always we're thinking in money, car, and house.
American Dream.
American Dream. It's called El Norte.
Yeah.
This
So, and there are multiple pieces like this depicting similar scenes but different in the gallery here. And what I think is the masterpiece here, in terms of, at least in terms of the immigration work, is this depiction of the beast, the bestia,
the best.
the train that comes north through Mexico and carries with it so many people who have dreamed the dream and are trying to find their way to the United States. This is, the detail in this is just incredible. The depiction of both the hope and the sort of the despair, the realities of trying to do this work. There's incredible detail, as I said. There's people on the roofs splashing themselves with water, covering themselves with their clothing, suffering, somebody falling off. There's humor, but there's real pathos in this. And Nicario, this is incredible. And of course, the sort of the diorama behind this actually works incredibly well. So what was the idea behind this piece? How did you even imagine this?
This is my last piece I finished this year. Yeah, always I'm making every year or about every 2 years of my big pieces. Yeah, it's brand new for summer I was for this year for showing for our shop. I know La Bestia is the immigrants from Central America crossing to US. I know this is more. It's happening every day. Yeah. But now with the couple years, the last year or 2 years or 2 years, I was more strong. Everybody there with them, everybody's coming. I know it's just with the babies. That is sad. When you talk close, you see the child is in the case. This is more actual. It's just happening. That is building the walls, but anyway, this is jumping on the ground. You know, I put too much detail, more humor, more sad, everything.
Everything. You see these, and as you described before, Nicario, your sense of being in a new place, and the world is so different. Right? For each place you go, and imagine that what many of these indigenous people from Central America, from their own villages, seeing this train and all the people that are trying to come north. Just you put yourself in their place, and that's what makes this so powerful. It really does. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Rona.
This to me is a piece, Nicario, that belongs in a museum where many people, thousands of people can see it. I think to share what Tony said about the pathos and the suffering and even the humor that occurs in human life. It's so, I feel it's selfish to be here and I would like it out there. Flora Zarate is going to be interviewed by Ann Fisher, and we're going to look at her very beautiful fiber art.
Now I'm delighted to show you some of the artwork that Flora Zarate has created. Flora, can you tell us about this piece?
This piece I represented from animals from high altitude, from the Andes, Peru.
The high altitude animals in Peru.
Yeah, I saw vicuña,
The cunha.
alpaca, llama, sheep, ducks, cows. This is on high altitude. The dam is a little bit small city.
And when we go over to the studio, we will hear a lot about how Flora has created this. But it is all done by hand.
Everything is all by
Everything
hand.
is by hand.
Machine, yeah. No machine, no glue.
No machine and no glue. And wait till you see later on when she begins to work on this. So this would be representative of life in the high altitude Andean villages.
Yes.
And this piece is just absolutely exquisite. Can you take us on a tour of this piece?
Yeah, same. This is a market in the Andes. Market in the Andes is one day a week or one day on the 15 days. Because in Andes no produce fruits and many vegetables. That's why the fruits and vegetables bring the big city, a small town.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, because it's high altitude.
So there's really nothing that grows there?
Yeah, growing potatoes, corn, beans, other,
Okay.
but fruits,
Fruits and vegetables.
vegetables mostly no. That's why it's coming from the city. You see the truck, they're coming with the truck. This is you see here corn, potatoes, flowers, cauliflower, and pumpkins.
Yeah.
The pumpkins is other kind pumpkins. It's many kind pumpkins.
Many kinds.
Yes. And chiles, different products. I can sell here fish, pumpkins, fruits.
When you were growing up, how often would you eat fish?
Mostly one time a year,
One
two
time
times
a year.
year.
Exactly. And what about meat? Did you have meat very often?
Yeah, the meat, yes. Mostly the chips, chickens, yes.
Okay. Because you would raise chickens, your family would raise chickens in the villages.
Yes, yeah.
The perspective from the village up into the mountains and then up, the high mountains and the sky above it is just stunning. I know that when we go to your studio, you're going to show us some of the work you did with sewing as a young child. But when did you begin creating this kind of art?
This kind of work I start when I moved to city, Lima. This is with Applique fabric. When I did it with t-shirt, it's embroidered only with threads, with only flowers, only for using the taking core potatoes. This is for decoration home. It's different art. Now I'm making 3D.
Which is just stunning, just stunning. So you took something that was similar to when Nicario said that his grandfather didn't consider when he was making art. You learned many very highly skilled techniques as a child, but then you've taken that and now you are creating art that would hang on somebody's wall. And this is just stunning. But then you've taken it one step further and that you've moved away from the traditional depiction of life in the Andean villages. And now that you've been in the U.S., your work has taken a bit of a turn toward expressing something politically. So maybe we can move over and take a look at this piece that's on the piece.
Yeah, this piece is a representation of manifestation in different cities in United States. It's about the immigration, the immigrants. This piece I make when I saw Nicario's piece, I said about the immigration. I thinking, why not I make it with fabric? I can do it. Also, in news or on television, I listen, I see manifestation immigration. For me, it's shock when I saw, because when I was in Peru, I not see the news for about immigration. For me, it's hard when I saw the people manifestation to coming here in U.S. Because why in Peru, every news is everything about the U.S. is good. No, never I listen bad news. When you see U.S. is everything is good. Wow! When Nicario tell me the immigration, the immigrants, for me it's very sad.
So I just want to make sure I understand you, that in Peru, you wouldn't be hearing
No.
on the news about the way that we have been treating the immigrants that come here and the difficulties that immigrants face.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah, no.
So instead, the message is that everything is wonderful.
Everything is wonderful.
Reminds
Number
me
one.
that in past waves of immigration, there'd be this idea of the streets are paved with gold, that past immigrants from Europe or Asia would often hear that everything will be wonderful when they come to the U.S. So we have here some protesters.
Yeah, this is a protester in big cities. I know specifically exactly what city.
Okay.
Yeah, women with the kids. You see that with kids.
Yep.
Because
We know that women with children are protesting.
yes.
And we have here
That's the police.
the police.
Yes.
And these,
That's-
are these particular buildings here?
Yeah, I put the Capitol and the White House.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it's again exquisitely done. It's very moving from more traditional design, if you will, and bringing in very contemporary elements. The issue of how we are treating people who come to the United States.
Yeah.
And all the wealth and power behind the two
And
buildings.
all the wealth and power.
Yeah.
Whoa. Flora, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the wonderful outdoor studio of Nicario Jimenez and Flora Zarate. We're going to have the really wonderful opportunity of seeing both of the artists demonstrating their artwork.
I using boiled potatoes mixed with the plaster first. Is it only I use it two materials. Also I use my tools is one knife, one stick. That's it. I don't use many tools. And this is only I use it. I use any kind potatoes. Red potatoes, white potatoes. I know in Peru we have a lot of kind potatoes, thousand kind potatoes. This technique I learned it from my grandfather. He discovered this technique. Always, this is the best material. It's easy to apply. It's easy to making any figurines in a different size. With this material, you make it any sculptures, large or tiny one. Yeah, in my pieces I created from the boxes, the match boxes is tiny one or the large pieces.
This is the material you had. Maybe you didn't have clay or
No. Okay, this is it. Yeah. This is
wonderful. And then
the material cost is nothing.
yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
You grow your own potatoes. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, I just we the first for my pieces I never drawing. I never sketch nothing. Always everything I have it in my hand. Okay, only I design it with size, with things. I'm going directly making.
So you're making a figure now.
Yeah. Look at it. Just moving my fingers. Yeah. The punch noise. Eh.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yep.
And now, and you're always dipping your tool because in the plaster so it doesn't stick.
Yeah. Yeah, the face I make different. The important thing for my pieces is the faces. Yeah.
Oh my.
Wow.
That's something.
Yeah.
And each face is different.
Yeah, each face is different.
And as
Because
you're using the tool,
Yeah.
are you? And you're imagining this person. You're
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Do you know where this piece will go in any one of your?
Yeah.
So you have the idea.
Yeah, I have idea with that's it's.
So in any one of your sculptures,
Uh-huh.
you know
It's
where
a-
this piece is going to go.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
What's amazing is how much expression you can get, that each figure has a different expression, different emotion showing, a sense of age of the figure.
You can make children and women and anything, or and animals.
Yeah.
You'll notice that in some of Nicario's work, he does use a lot of the animals. And Flora uses animal figures a lot in her fiber work.
All right. So now we have some pants that are starting to form on the bottom there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, with this technique, you can make it outside or indoor or outside because it's the plaster. Is the okay. This is the first process. This one I put it with the movement, or it's just for example for dancing. Which is dancing, yeah, because I'm making more carnival dancing. Yeah.
Nicario, how many minutes or hours does it take for the plaster and potato mixture to set up?
Maybe 2-3 hours.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's very fast.
Oh yeah.
So you can move right
That-
into the next stage, which
Oh, yeah,
is
exactly.
painting. Which
Yeah.
you'll-
Right. This is.
It's very hip.
Yeah. It's,
Okay.
Tony,
Yeah, it's
feel
just
it. It's very interesting. It's,
oh yeah. Maybe you can put it.
This is the clay. It just feels like clay, but it does have more elasticity, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
This way.
And the potato plaster mixture. Oh, I love that. I'm blown away with the finished product, but I'm even more blown away by the process. To watch an artist at work.
And it's really fun to use because it's very fast, as you can see. You don't labor over it for hours and hours.
Yeah.
But that takes a
Yeah.
long learning
Okay.
talent.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna see what Ann does.
And there's the wood. Okay, so you go. Take a look.
Mm. Okay, so I noticed you were doing something like this to begin to form the head.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I don't behead this person. Okay, and then, my goodness, eyes?
No, put the first the noise.
Oh, first a nose, pinch a
Yeah.
nose,
Uh-huh.
and then kind of go like this or something
Yeah.
too. Okay, and then, oh, this person looks like he was in a fight. And then the eyes are going to go.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Oh, you're a natural.
It's looking like a chicken.
Okay, then go
Maybe
for
this
it.
is Big Bird. Oh my goodness! What is it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Perfect.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
Okay, so and
Are
then
you having fun?
oh, of course I'm having fun. And then did we just kind of smear this down
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
kind of get some legs going?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm thinking it looks like somebody with a mask on, which is certainly the theme. The theme of today is masks. This looks like somebody who's dressed for Halloween. And that's a strong theme for today. The idea of masks. Okay. Did you,
Yep.
And how does it feel to you as opposed to clay? I know you've done things with
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit more pliable. It's. I like the feel of it.
It's
just
a
the
very
tactile.
soft
Yeah,
feeling,
yeah.
isn't it? More than clay is. Clay is resistant.
You try Rona?
No, I have done them and I love to do them, but
Yeah.
That gave me a sense,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can see how. My
There you go.
goodness! Oh, but this is fun. This is addictive in a good way. Okay.
Nicario works very quickly, but he's done this work all his life, so he's awfully good at it.
The painting is almost more time
Oh, yeah.
consuming.
The painting is more time consuming. This is also because I painted the different process.
Yeah.
This is the first process. When I finish the first process, okay, when you dry, I put the second, the last one is
Yeah.
coming with the,
Because this has to dry before you can do the next thing.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the next one with the fine brush. With the fine brush. When I painted the face,
Yeah.
I put the eyes.
Yeah,
I put the eyes, the nose, mouth,
yeah,
but it's the finish.
right.
It's look like here, the mask.
Mask is
The
unbelievable.
background. I painted the yellow mixed with the red.
So you,
And it's
I put-
blended. Notice the
Uh-huh.
blending. It's
Yeah.
very
And
interesting.
after that, I put
Yeah.
it with the fine brush. They did it.
so you're starting, it's like when you're doing you start as far into the figure as
Yeah.
you can, and then you fill out. Yeah.
The composition is because The tall ones,
Yeah.
I put in the
In the
back.
back.
The small ones is coming there. And more perspective. It is a movement.
It's really wonderful, but this is all in your mind
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
as you build, as
Yeah,
you're creating.
I don't have any sketch.
No
okay.
sketch
No
pad.
sketch
No,
pad.
no, no.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's no.
In the gallery, we'll
I
get a
have
close-up of-
Yeah, for example, you remember the last visit you see different. Now it's also different. Always a bit. Okay, this is the dry. The next process. Okay, I'm going to box.
Yeah.
The painting, the primary painting, that. Yeah, it's always back. Okay, back.
Back and forth, back and
Oh,
forth.
my garden is my coffee. It's my. It gave me more
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Nicario, very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you. And Nicario, though, before we stop, I just want to mention one thing while we're out here in the studio. And you can see all of the materials Nicario has and the wealth of pre-work he has to do. He has got to do the carpentry and he's got to put the hinges on the boxes and all of that. And he has a huge amount of time in his work. And artists like Nicario and Flora make their living in the outdoor art festivals, in the juried shows that they get into, and I have to brag a little bit about you, Nicario. Nicario gets into the very best shows in the United States. He gets into the American Craft Council show, which is so heavily juried that you can't even imagine. So I just feel that both Nicario and Flora are just a treasure in Naples because we don't get a chance to see the work and the workings of world-class artists like they are.
Yeah. And thank you,
Thank
Rona,
you,
for
Rona.
bringing
Thank
it
you.
to
Thank you.
You're welcome. Flora Zarate, fiber artist. We're very lucky that we can watch her do a demonstration of how she does her magnificent work. And I want to just start out, I guess it's the teacher in me, but I want everybody to see the beautiful handwork that the children in the villages of Peru in the mountains do. Now this, Flora told me, is made by an 8, 9, or 10-year-old girl, and this is what the children do for fun. Instead of doing making drawings and paintings like American children do, they do beautiful needlework, and everybody especially notice the magnificent colors that they use. No color theory here, all just natural. And the stitches are very even and perfect and beautiful. And can our photographer maybe get that up quite close? Because to me it's amazing that a 9 or 10-year-old girl or boy could do something this beautiful. Made. All right, we're going to move on to Flora. Show's yours, kid.
Hello, my name is Flora. I am from Peru. The small town, my town is named Alcamenca from Ayacucho. Okay, I make a demonstration. I make applique fabric only by hand, no machine, no glue. I'm
No
sorry.
machine and no glue.
No, only by hand. Yeah, everything is so. I'm select different kind of fabric, colors. Yeah, the first I'm think what kind of theme I do it. The first is I use pillow, the different size, the small one or big ones, depending what say I like. You see this one, and the first I start the scapes and down. I use, you see this fabric, the different kind blue. I cut it, this kind of fabric, and put the mountains. In Peru, I have different colors, the mountains. And then the coming, I put this fabric. This is the lands. Use this kind. This fabric is silk. I use silk. This for animal. I use velvet. Velvet is you can touch.
Velvet. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's soft. Yeah, for plants, I use lacra.
Lycra?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
lacra. I use it here or velvet. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's more easy for me because when you're sewing, I know I'm struggling. For other, for example, this fabric is stitching.
Right.
In velvet on lycra, no. Yeah, everything is by hand. I cut it up, for example, one tree. I'm imagination what size, a small one or big one. This kind of art I learned from my mom. No exactly this kind, different embroidery.
So when you were a child, it was more the embroidery, less of the cutting of the fabric?
No, only embroidery.
Only
With applique fabric, I learned more lighter. When you are a child, only I make embroidery with thread.
With what? Say that again?
With thread.
With thread.
Yeah, only with thread. Yeah, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, same animals. For example, I use this. This is for sheep,
Oh, that's nice.
for llama, cows. Yeah, only imagination what animal I like it. I not drawing for cat. Only imagination. I mean, good sheep. My pronunciation, I'm sorry, maybe I don't understand me. I'm struggling with my English because my first language is Quechua, second is Spanish. I speak English.
You do very well. But the first language, Quechua.
Yeah, Quechua.
Quechua.
Yeah.
And that was spoken
is
by
it
the folks.
Sheriff. Chips. See?
I imagine when you were growing up that the choice of fabrics, was it primarily cotton?
No, different kind. Yeah, different kind of fabric. Yeah, also I use cotton. Cotton fabric I use for making peoples.
Okay.
You see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And no
Yeah.
lines, no pattern,
Yeah.
all freehand.
I see the
Yes.
parallel between Flora
That
cutting
the
animals
choice of
freehand
fabrics, was
and
it
Nicario having
primarily cotton?
molded figures freehand.
No, different kind. Yeah, and when
Yeah,
you I
different
put
kind
the
of
fabrics, first I cover it, and second I put the animals.
What are the typical animals that you incorporate in your artwork?
Mostly I put cows, llamas, vicuña,
Vicuña.
yeah,
That's right.
chips, yeah, yeah.
A vicuña is a
Vicuña is V-I-Z-U-N-A.
Vicuna,
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah, it's wild animal. It's very exotic animal. Yeah.
High in the end.
I put this guy for
vicuña.
movie.
vicuña.
Yeah,
That's right.
chips. Yeah.
A vicuña is a
Vicuña is V-I-Z-U-N-A.
Vicuna,
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wild animal. It's
Yeah.
very exotic animal.
I have a
Yeah.
different
High in the end.
in high altitude. Yeah. And put this kind. I put the animals and the vegetables. For
I'm
example,
repeating
I put
exactly.
this one first. I'm so.
I put it.
laying things down, putting a simple stitch to keep it in place.
Uh-huh.
Here's
Yes.
the cactus.
Uh-huh.
Is that cactus?
Yes, cactus. Yeah. In Peru, I have a different type of.
So, when I finish, I start sewing with animals, tree, house. and vegetables. For example, when I put this one, first I'm sew this one, the only flat. You see in here I'm sewing this one. This one I sew. For example, this is pumpkins. Pumpkins I put here. Yes, this is so. And when I finish, I start sewing with animals, tree, house, about animals. When I finish, I put the eyes from animals.
What do you use for eyes?
What thread? What the yeah? I show you the other. For example, this is pumpkins. Pumpkins I put here with the leaves. You see? Yes, exactly.
Little pumpkins.
Yeah, little pumpkins. Yeah. This one. Yeah. In Peru, it's very important learning the sewing.
This is absolutely gorgeous,
Yeah.
made by Flora's mother. And
This everything is by hand.
everything is by hand,
Yeah.
and there are all kinds of different stitches being used here. So anybody that's watching who has done some weaving or some embroidery will have great appreciation for the detail and workmanship in this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this would be used for...
Yeah, this is for use. For cutting baby, food, for everything.
This is great. So here's a...
For example, I make different theme. Only no make from the Andes mountains. This is jungle animals, birds. This is from Africa.
Oh my.
Zebra, elephant, everything by hand. Look like with the blue machine, no. You see the behind?
You brought it to a different level.
And now I make a different level with Applique fabric 3D. Yeah, this is
3D.
for decoration.
Do you stuff this to make it more
Yeah, I put the cotton for 3D. I'm so around animal and put
the
Good.
detail work? Oh, goodness.
yeah, same exactly with the pumpkin makings. I'm correct this kind of fabric and circle. What size, small one or big ones? Also same I put inside little bit cotton. I'm sewing around. I make one. It's very relaxing making art.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
Yes, there's something about working with our hands that for so many of us is very relaxing.
Yeah. I like to use different color the fabric. Yes.
And where do you get your fabrics now?
I'm buying different stores. Mostly I'm buying quilt store fabrics.
Quilting stores?
Yeah. Some fabric is very difficult finding because always is changing the color. The escape, for example, this escape is different and this one. Very similar, but no. This is more blue and this is more little bit dark. Yeah.
From a store, but you've made each of these little pumpkins.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Each figurine I made. And I no buy
Nothing is pre-made.
No figurine. The figurine I no buy it. Only I'm buying the fabrics, pillows, cotton. Yeah, the figurines I make everything. The people's. You see?
Oh, that's wonderful. Flora, as a female artist from Peru and from the mountainous region where the indigenous folks live, what is it like for you to be an artist here in the United States. How difficult has that been for you?
Yeah, the first I'm very happy for starting here in United States, and also I'm happy for teaching my art, my culture for other people. Yeah, because it's completely different the culture. Yeah, I'm happy for teaching, for learning other people, that my learning other work. Yeah.
I mean, I think about the term starving artist, that for most artists, it is very hard to get your art out there, to find people who will sustain your art. And I can imagine, particularly during the middle of the pandemic, and being a female artist might be that much more challenging than for a male artist, and also having come from another country and another culture might make that more challenging as well.
And mostly in here, appreciation are work handmaking. In Peru, no. It's the art, and it's not appreciating.
No opportunity
No,
in Peru.
no opportunity. Also, the art for artists making people don't have a more opportunity.
There aren't that many opportunities.
Yeah, mostly in United States, it's more opportunity that people appreciating the handmaking
Sure.
artworks. Yes.
Well, thank you so very much, Flora, for showing us how it's done. Just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. I'm very happy. Thank you.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our presentation, and I want to thank you, Flora, and you, Nicario, so much for the wonderful, wonderful information that you shared with us. And I want to just say a couple of things in retrospect. Nicario is in the Smithsonian Museum collection. He's in the Art Institute of Chicago, and he is in many, many private collections. I want to extend an invitation to you all at UU. Flora and Nicario would love to have you come and visit their gallery, and I would have loved to have had a wonderful congregational show there, but of course with the pandemic we can't do it. But if anybody is interested in perhaps purchasing something from Nicario or Flora, you can call Anna in the office and she'll have their phone number. And they will allow people to come 3 maximum into the studio. Or if they want the phone number, they can call me personally at home. And I wanted to share that with you. I think that this has just been a really fun situation, and I think that just in closing, I would like to say that you can see Nicario and Flora's things on Google and the other social media. You can see his website. Just type in Nicario Jimenez. Stay safe and well, and thank you for the opportunity to introduce you to my dear friends and have this be a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.
Yes, I want to reiterate, thank you very much, Nicario, thank you, Flora, but thank you also, Rona, who conceived this idea, began to champion it before the pandemic, and we should have seized the day and done it then. But we are very glad that we were able to come, and we are very grateful to all of you for making this happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for visiting. Or you first call me 239-687-0293 or go to my send me email. I have it. You visit my studio.